Manchester United then returned to the FA Cup this season. Last season, very disappointing, getting knocked out home to Arsenal. Stupid goal to concede to Danny Welbeck. Stupid mistake from Valencia, which ended our cup run. Now, it's been years since we won the FA Cup. We had a very good run to the latter stages last year to play Arsenal. We had easy games against Cambridge, Yeovil, some very easy games there up till then, and we messed it up. Now, we'll start off this one with a fairly decent tie on paper again. Sheffield United and Old Trafford, who we should be beating hands down, to be honest. But our form has been so patchy lately that you wouldn't put it past Manchester United to having another stupid 0-0 in this game. Now, I think it's going to be a tricky tie. All these lower league ties, although on paper an easy looking tie that you would expect Manchester United to comfortably win. But you never know, because most of these teams, especially if it was at Sheffield United, they would probably park the bus and try and nick a replay and go to Old Trafford. But the way it is, it's at Old Trafford, so they may still try and get a draw here and take them back to their place. I know Exeter got a draw of God knows how many years ago, a 0-0 draw at Old Trafford, and managed to take it back to their place. So you never know what could happen in this FA Cup. And we saw a couple of shocks in the early rounds last year. Middlesbrough knocking Man City out away, and Chelsea getting knocked out by Bradford. So it was a couple of big shocks there this time last year in the third round. So could be in for some more shocks this time. There probably will be some big shocks coming. So we should be prepared. How do I see us going in this game? Well, I think we should really put out a strong lineup in this game. As I said, we haven't won the FA Cup for so many years. It has been around 12 years since we last won the FA Cup. And realistically, it's the only trophy that Manchester United, barring the stupid Europa League, which nobody really cares if we win it. The only reason we would care if we won it is if we have to rely on it to get a Champions League place. No one actually wants to actually win the competition. They just want the Champions League place. So the FA Cup would be a much bigger priority for Manchester United, I think. In England, it is seen as the big cup competition ahead of the Capital One or Carling Cup, whatever you call it. I mean, that's generally seen as a Mickey Mouse Cup, but this is seen as a big cup. It's the oldest cup competition in the world. It's a fantastic cup competition, even if it isn't quite as good as it used to, quite as high on the list as it used to be, because of the Champions League and the Premier League giving you so much money. That's where a lot of teams have rested players and put this down the priority list. But I still think it is a lovely trophy to win, and it would be nice to see Manchester United claw back to a 12 Champions League trophy, as Arsenal have got ahead of us in terms of FA Cup wins. Now, personally, I think, as I said, I think he should start with a strong lineup. I would definitely keep David De Gea in goal. I think the back four should be pretty strong too. I wouldn't really change much, maybe it depends what the situation is with the defence. Obviously, Phil Jones is probably going to be out, so it's going to be could be a bit of a makeshift defence if we've got some injuries. Ashley Young could possibly miss this game, so we might have to bring Paddy McNair in alongside Smalling, Blind and Darby on either side. That would probably be alright for this game, I would think. I should think Paddy McNair is fit. Then we're going to probably have to play. We're probably going to play the midfield again, or maybe Carrick and Schneiderlin. Personally, I wouldn't play two defensive midfielders against Sheffield United at home in the cup. I think we really should be going all guns blazing just to bash in 2 or 3 goals early on and kill this tie off. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's what we should be going all guns blazing. Get that early couple of goals. Then you can rest in the second half, take 2 players off, rest them ready for that game against Newcastle next week. Now, on the wings, hopefully we will see Memphis Depay come back in on one wing. I think, God knows what's happened to Juan Mata lately. He's been absolutely dog shit lately. And he hasn't actually come under as much stick as Wayne Rooney has when he's been dog shit. So I think the criticism should start coming in if he doesn't start performing better. I know he's playing on the wing. He could possibly play in the number 10, which most people think is his best position, but he has played better on the wing for Manchester United. But I think it's because Juan Mata is a lovely guy, and people do love Juan Mata. But to be honest, his football's been dog shit lately, and I'm saying it how it is. He hasn't been good enough and deserves to be dropped. So I think Memphis Depay could come back in on one side, Martial on the other, potentially, and Wayne Rooney will be up front. And I'll probably, if the midfielder in there, would probably put Herrera in that number 10 role. So I'd go for a pretty strong team. I wouldn't like to see I wouldn't want to see Fellaini in the starting lineup for this game. Possibly bring him in off the bench, though he probably will play from the start. He probably will change a few. Herrera probably will be dropped to the bench. Maybe even Wayne Rooney might be on the bench. Who knows? Maybe Martial might get a rest in this game. There's reports that he has given the players a couple of days off from training, and Martial did go off to Paris, so potentially he could not play in this game, which would be a shame, because I think Manchester United just need to get a couple of early goals in that first half and just put the game to sleep, play out the second half, have a nice, comfortable second half, so that we've got an easier game against Newcastle in the Premier League on the Tuesday, I think it is, or the Wednesday. Because if we go into that game where we've had a really hard fought second half against Sheffield United, it could be a bit more difficult, because Newcastle are really fighting for their lives, and that's really a massive game for Manchester United. They've obviously got Watford in the FA Cup, so potentially they might even rest some players, because I think staying up's the priority for Newcastle, not the FA Cup. Now, I don't know anything about Sheffield United. When I looked at them last time, they were languishing, I think, mid-table in the second division. So I haven't really seen anything of them play, so I don't know any of their players. Unfortunately, I don't watch the lower leagues, so I don't really know too much about them. I only really watch the Premier League, the Championship, and the top leagues across Europe. Some of the best teams in Europe. So I don't really know too much about them, but they're not very high up. So this is a game that Manchester United should be looking to win. I think we will win it. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Manchester United. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think we need to make any wholesale changes? Personally, I don't think so. Some may think maybe Romero deserves a chance in goal, because it does look like Victor Valdez is going to be allowed to leave now on a free. I'm hearing reports come out. Do you think he deserves a chance in goal? Potentially he could do. He played against Middlesbrough in the last round of the League Cup, so potentially he could come in. But I'll personally just put David Hare in goal, just not take any chances, get through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. We've got to be winning this trophy this year, because we're not going to win the Premier League. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will talk to you all again soon. See ya!